And the governor just signed Senate Bill 362, which authorizes the director of the Department of Health and Human Services to establish, within the limits available of funding, an educational program within the Division of Public and Behavioral Health Department regarding the prevention of domestic violence here in the state. And so again, it is a severe crisis here in the state of Nevada. And honestly, almost every time I open up the newspaper, I see of a murder-suicide related to domestic violence. And so we need to do something about that. We need to educate our community. There's got to be programs established to help some of those maybe mothers or women who feel that they can't leave that relationship because they feel threatened. We need to make sure that we support them. And many times...
He's got to be
and many times, a lot of men as well, because it goes both ways, both men. And then lastly, equal pay. We need to make sure that a man and a woman get paid the same amount of money for the same amount of work. It's only fair, and it's only fair for us to be able to reward the hardworking women who are doing maybe even sometimes more at work than the men, but unfortunately they're making 60 cents to the dollar that a man makes. And so this bill, SB 167, that right now is still being negotiated. And then you know what's sad? That we're still debating this bill. It is unfortunate that there's legislators in that body, and I'm not going to say names today, but I'm pretty sure once I come back from the legislative session and some of my bills have already been passed and signed, I will tell you who were some of those people that were fighting against equal pay. But this bill is SB 167, and this bill revises the powers of the Commission to order remedies for unlawful employment practices. It authorizes the Commission to award payback for a period beginning of 3 years before the date of the filing of a complaint regarding an unlawful employment practice, and ending on the date of the Commission issues an order regarding the complaint. It does many other things. I think it could have some more teeth. I think it could do a lot more. But again, when you're in Carson City, it's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of give and take, and unfortunately, there's legislators that don't want to get this bill passed. But hopefully, with your help, and hopefully with some of you, and I know I see a lot of you in here who have been advocating for the last few months at the legislature, have been very helpful in helping us get some of these pieces of legislation not only heard, but also passed out of committee and hopefully get them signed by the governor. Now, there are some bad bills, and I'm not going to go into detail like I did on the other ones. But just like there's some really good bills, and there's all these do-gooder bills, right, to improve education, to allow an opportunity for people to go to higher education, to deal with domestic violence, to deal with child care. There's also bad bills that, in my opinion, will have a significant adverse impact on some of our communities. One of them is the voting rights. They're trying to take away voting rights. And there's a bill out there that wants to reduce the hours of early voting. And at the beginning, when this bill was introduced, you know what hours they wanted to get rid of? Sunday mornings. And you know what? I know in the Latino community, in the African American community, you go to church on Sunday morning and then you go vote. So this is a direct attack on minority communities, in making sure that we don't turn out and vote as we have in the past. And so it is one of the bad bills, in my opinion, that's going to limit the hours that people can vote. Look, in my opinion, we should be making it a lot easier for people to vote, right? We live in the greatest democracy in the country. We live in the greatest country in the world. We live in the United States of America, where, you know what? The most important right you have is the right to vote. And here's people that are limiting that right. So that's one of the bad bills. Another bill, SB 119, that unfortunately the governor already signed. It takes away prevailing wage from construction workers. Now, for those of you who don't know what prevailing wage is, It's basically making a livable wage, right? So if you're out there in the summer working in 115 degrees and you're building a home or building a school, you deserve to be paid what you're worth, right? You went and got your training, you got your certification, you became a journeyman, you became an expert. So this bill takes away the requirement to pay for prevailing wage for those construction workers. And you know what? I represent part of East Las Vegas. And I know I have a significant amount of construction workers that live in my district. And I see this bill as a